So guys, it's me, Double, and today we're going to be talking about the new anime, Gate. So, this is a very long awaited video, technically, because this anime has been released and has been out for like 4 to 3 episodes? Yeah. So, why am I talking about this now? Because I am late about it, but this is one of my on their list, you know, favorite anime of the season. Except that wouldn't be the case if there weren't new animes being released every single week or so, like Fate. Now I have to do a new Fate video because I didn't know Toy Hearse was coming out soon, but I'm going to do this now because Gate is probably maybe up to my top 5 of this season for anime, and I don't know why. This anime is really thing, right? So, premise of Gate, and I'm not going to be doing like episodic reviews for this sub, but I'm going to be talking about what I've seen so far. So it's like episodes 1 through 4, 3, I believe. So yeah, Gate, the story behind Gate is basically one time in Japan, this mysterious door slash gate, quote unquote, appears out of nowhere and in Japan, right? And then out through the door comes like these creatures, like, you know, ogres, dragons, people, knights, and armor and weapons and stuff, right? They come through the gate and start to invade Japan, and then what happens is our main protagonist here in the middle of this picture, our otaku protagonist, didn't want his favorite anime convention concert thing at the time to be cancelled because of this attack. So what did he do? He took action and started to rally up everyone and strategize against the oncoming enemy that came out from the gate. And there's a lot I want to talk about this protagonist, because basically our protagonist is an otaku who at the beginning of the show was like trying to protect his he always says something in the anime, I forgot. It's like either his work or his hobby, and he prefers his hobby more. If you had to pick one or the other, his hobby or his work, he picked his hobby, and that is being an otaku. So yeah, he picked his hobby. So what he did was rally up and try to help as much people as possible to safety, get the people, the defense force set up to counteract the enemy, and it worked because, well, I mean, people with dragons and monsters and not armor, shields and arrows and swords doesn't fare well against people with guns and helicopters and a lot of things. Which is really what I like about this anime. This thing has a lot of good action. So, yeah, he saves the day, and something's wrong with my light. I need to get better lighting before I do videos. So, he saves a lot of people in his heroic acts on the invasion the day they came, because afterwards they sent in a resistance force, and they eventually drove them back to the gate. They went back to where they came from. And yeah, eventually they started to like quarantine the gate, and like wondering what's on the gate, they set up this this military team to go and investigate what's beyond inside the gate. And our main protagonist, our otaku leader, is part of this military force. He is actually like a promoted sergeant, lieutenant, something. He's a high-ranking official because of what he did on the first episode and what he did saving a lot of people in the first invasion day. So yeah, he goes in, and we basically see a lot of like other... This light is bothering me so much. We see a lot of more resistance, more people in armor, shields, clothing horses, monsters, dragons, you know, just like fantasy stuff, right? But what happens is they take them all down because we got guns, we got tanks, we got just military hardware. We got like we got like the more advanced stuff, right? It has nothing compared to what they have. They just destroy the whole enemy. And then they create a base inside the new world, the new realm, I think that's what they call it, inside the gate. So yeah, basically the gate leads to another world, another universe or whatever that has things like fantasy creatures like elves, dragons, etc. It's basically, yeah, that's basically what the gate is. It connects our modern day world that we live in to this fantasy world with a bunch of elves, dragons, and killing monsters and whatnot. So they set up a base on the other world so far. That's like episode 2. And then eventually it goes down to them trying to create relationships with the people of this world because they speak a different language. They want to use the land for resources, which is kind of effed up in my opinion. But they try to create relations with the people on the other world, try to communicate, try to understand what the world is like in that world. And eventually it leads to meeting all the characters here in this picture, for anyone you see here. We have the elf, I have a magician, and then we have this gothic Lolita, or like some kind of like praise god or something like that. I don't exactly know who she is yet, but yeah. So I mean, that's the premise. I don't want to spoil too much about this anime or like talk a lot about what happens in the episodes because I'm not going to be doing episode reviews of this show. I'm just talking about it now, like my impressions after 4 episodes. So what I like to say about this anime is it's really good. I really enjoyed this anime. Yeah, I mean, reading the description of this anime, it sort of tells you already, like, oh, gate slash door appears in Japan, leading to another world. Then I didn't expect like the whole fighting, the action, like the trying to take over Japan and the fights and whatnot. And the action is pretty good. I mean, you have these people with old bow and arrow and sword people against people with helicopters, tanks, and guns. And when you see them duke it out, they just get exterminated. So I like watching the action of this show. And, I mean, so far we don't know much about the characters except our male protagonist here, our otaku hobby preferring guy. He's an interesting fellow. I think he has a lot of potential for this anime. I don't know how long this anime is going for, but yeah. And episode 4, we finally have all the after episode 3, we have all the characters in this picture assembled. So we now have everyone who is important to the storyline here, and we're going to probably learn about them and see like relations grow with Japan and like the military and these guys and the people of this new world, because it's kind of interesting when you have an anime where you have this new world appear out of nowhere, or like you have this whole different world that's different from your own. You have a lot of potential and possibility to do whatever you want in those worlds, like the whole backstory for those worlds. And I am a man of story because I'm a man of story. I don't know why, but yeah, I mean, I see a lot of interest in these other world things, and considering it's like a fantasy, they have these things in our present, like the elf, perfect example. Like we know about elves in our current world, right? Because they're known as fantasy. But in this world, it's reality. There are actual elves here. They have magicians and wizards and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of basic, but I mean, you have another world scenario. I'm okay with that. And the characters, the action in this anime, going good. We're going to see more of that in anime because there seems to be some kind of devious plot in this anime about like the whole kingdom and the people, like the hierarchy kingdom in the gate world. I don't know what it's called, but the new world, let's call it that. And the opening, I want to talk about the opening in this show because the opening is pretty freaking amazing. I have the full song on my phone right here that's recording, and I listen to it all the time. The opening is amazing, and yeah, this anime, I wanted to leave it off like that. So thank you guys for watching this impression of Gates, the something that's something. I don't know the full title. I just know it as Gate. It's the most basic title ever, but Gate, you know. I know there's something else after the title, but I don't remember it. So yeah, this anime is pretty good. I mean, if you guys, I would probably give it the first 2 episodes. If you guys don't like it, then, you know, that's up to you guys. I personally like it. I'm going to watch the hell out of this anime because I love it so much. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll be doing a lot more anime impression reviews things because apparently new anime keep popping up that I don't hear of, like Fate. So I have to do more videos. So stay tuned for those, and I'll see you guys on the next video on the Dome channel. So take care, guys, and I'll matane.